Hey, what's up, parents? Thanks so much for joining us, and thank you for doing the hardest job on the planet, raising your teenager. I hope you had a fantastic spring break. Maybe some of you are glad that it's over. I know me and my family had a great and fantastic vacation in Florida. You might be able to tell by the tan I got going on. But we were just so grateful to get away. Huge shout out to Franklin McManus, who was running the show for your students while I was gone. He did a phenomenal job running midweek and our afterglow. So appreciative of him and our team and all that they do. But we are back and we are ready to dive in with a ton that's going on this week. And so let's start off with this Wednesday. It's our midweek, and we are intentional about launching back with a late night. And so we are going to be having a bubble soccer happening after. So doors will be open till 9:30 as usual on our late night. There'll be, if you don't know what bubble soccer is, you get these big old bubble suits and bounce each other around. It's absolutely a blast to play and even more fun to watch. And so it's a great moment for you to invite your student to invite some friends, and we encourage you guys to do that. We'll be wrapping up. Casey Connell will be back with us after missing him for a few months, speaking to the students, and it's going to wrap up our Awaken series. And then next month, we're going to finish with a series on big questions. And there's three essential questions that every single person asks, whether it's your teenager or yourself. And it's this. The first question is, who am I? Dealing with our identity and how we see ourselves in the world and our purpose. The second question is, where do I fit? And that has to do with belonging. And we know that connection is so important. Students right now, the studies are showing that over 40% are identifying that they feel lonely often or very often. And that's just not okay. That in our connected culture, the almost a majority of students are feeling alone or very alone often. And so we're going to be discussing that, what it looks like to belong, especially to the body of believers in the church. And then lastly, we ask ourselves, what difference can I make? And really that boils down to our the idea of purpose. What is my purpose? What is my calling? Because out of that, everything else should flow. That should, our decisions and our goals, our dreams, our passions. And so we're going to talk about those three questions. We're going to end the series with an open question night, letting students ask whatever it is they want. And so we're really excited about that. Let's move on. We've got Easter week coming up. And so I want to make you guys aware, there's going to be a Good Friday service at noon and 7 o'clock. And it's going to be powerful. We are not waiting till Easter. I'm speaking, and that's not just why it's going to be powerful, but the elements, the videos, I mean, you will not want to miss it. So make sure you get you and your family to one of those two services on Friday to prep you for Easter. Now, Easter is going to be an amazing time. I like to call it the Super Bowl of Christianity. It's one of the biggest celebrations that we have. The hope and prayer is that you have been thinking about who to invite using that prayer guide, and I want to encourage you, don't give up. It's a huge opportunity to connect people to the gospel, to our church, to what God is doing here. If you're a regular attender and you are able to, we're encouraging you to show up to the 9 a.m. service just to make sure we have room. Traditionally, the 11 o'clock service is a little bit more packed, and we have a lot of guests, and so we want to make sure they have somewhere to park, that they have somewhere to sit. And so if you can carpool, maybe you're a 3-4 car family, maybe your student drives separate, if you can kind of get together, that would be awesome. Then I've also got another opportunity for you on Easter Sunday. It should be an all hands on deck. We are inviting people and guests to our house, our community of faith. And so we would like for you guys to help host them. We are doing a massive Easter egg hunt, and I'll be running that with the youth team out on the front lawn. And we need a lot of volunteers to pull that off. So serving with your teenager. I'm not just asking you and your teenager to serve together. We know that serving is one of the hallmarks of someone whose faith lasts way beyond high school. The people who stick are the people who are committed, not just in attending, but are serving. And so as you, as a parent, to be able to model that together, spend the afternoon, an hour, serving some kids, it's going to be awesome. So we need greeters, registers, people manning the different Easter egg hunt areas. Very simple thing to do. But if you're interested, there's two different options. You can serve from in between the 9 and 11 o'clock service. So 10 to 11, or after the 11 o'clock service from noon until 1 p.m. And so I know there's a lot of family, there's a lot of traditions, a lot of events, but we're asking you guys to contribute an hour with your student, serve, be a part of all that's going on. It's fun. I mean, we're going to be seeing testimonies. It's a powerful time, and we'd love for you guys to be a part of joining that with us. So if you're interested in serving, simply email me, mattc@thewoodchurch.org. Just say, hey, me and my son, daughter are interested in serving. We'll make sure you have a spot, and we'll get you all the information you need to know. All right. Hey, just a few updates. Summer Trip is got a not overall record breaking, but in the last 5-6 years, record breaking attendance. We are closing in on 80 people, and I know there's a few stragglers that haven't registered yet. So we're expecting this trip to be around 90 people. So we've got more students than ever, but we are a little bit lower, or I'd like to be on our volunteers. So maybe you've been thinking about going on the trip, you're on the fence. I would encourage you, reach out to me. Let's have a conversation about what that could look like for you. Maybe your student doesn't want you there, and they're saying, no, you can't come. It'll be fine. They'll get over it. We'd love for you to be a part of that and be a volunteer. Check out what the hype is all about. And so, again, message me if you have any questions. And then lastly, the Craft and Vendor Show is coming up at the end of April. And so two things, there's 7 spots left to fundraise. So if your student's coming on summer trip and they missed out on Wild Game Dinner, you don't want to miss out on Craft and Vendor Show, because students can earn upwards of $100 towards that trip. And so there's a few spots left. I'll have the link below where you can register. And maybe you love Craft and Vendor Shows. That's all volunteer. It is not staff run. We are running your student, giving them an opportunity to serve. But Marie Kelsey is a volunteer who runs that pretty much all by herself. We support her. But if you are interested as a parent in helping her do admissions or concessions, or help put signs out, or the planning and setup of the event, we'd love to get you connected to her as well. And I know she would appreciate the help. And so one last thing, we've got our May Afterglow coming up. As always, the first Sunday of the month, all church prayer. We want your students there to pray, to hear testimonies, to hear what God's doing. But then afterwards, we're going to be just hanging out again in the ministry center. We've got a game night planned. So we're going to be playing some bingo, which I know is kind of an old person's game, but it'll be a lot of fun. And we're actually going to be doing a Wordle tournament. Wordle is that little word game everybody's playing, and so you've probably played it. You're probably doing it right now as you watch it, me in the audio or something like that. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I want to make you guys aware of that. We're continuing to connect with your students. Hey, before I let you go, there's one thing I just wanted to share. This is the season of mailing it in, of coasting, of kind of just getting to the finish line. And what I mean by that is, we came back from spring break. The Awaken series is done. The weather's getting warmer. And there's this attitude of it just kind of like, I just want to coast and survive until summer. And then I'll start some new routines. And so I just want to encourage you, don't do that. Don't let your student do that. Set some goals. Continue to commit to say, hey, I'm going to get up early. I'm going to do a reading plan. I'm going to serve. What is God calling you to do in this season? Because I can guarantee you it isn't to veg. It isn't to take a step back. It's to continue to pour in. We finished this series with this idea of propel me. And that's what we want to see for you and your family. So maybe you got to have a family meeting. Call your kids together and talk about it. Wow, what's your energy level? What are you feeling? How are you approaching this season that we're in, when the tendencies to pull back? How are we as a family and individuals going to press into God, press into the local body, the church, and see all that God is going to do in and through us? Well, hey, that's all we've got for now. As you log off, may you passionately pursue God and relentlessly reveal Jesus to your teenager.